All right, welcome back to another episode of Jim E Repeat. Today we have on Showtime Keith Mcintosh. He's a professional men's physique competitor. Man is like 8 for 10. He's won 8 out of his last 10 pro shows. He's pretty much unstoppable. They call him 3P Keith, I believe, right? You won 3 shows in a row. Is that what happened there?
Yeah, I don't know if they call me that, but I did create a little hashtag. I won three shows in a row with 3 peak weeks from 3 different federations.
Back to back. That's it really is unheard of. In our sport, natural bodybuilding, we don't get a lot of people who do back to back shows or compete, that consecutively with such great success.
Yeah.
So you're really out there. You're doing something that's pretty rare and unique. So you should definitely be proud of that. That's for damn sure. I know you've also now have you're making a transition from athlete to show promoter.
Yeah.
Like you're doing huge things. So normally I usually have, I'll show you some from the last one. I have pages and pages of notes on our guests that we bring in, but I want this one to be a little bit more raw. Mm-hmm. Right? You're a fantastic athlete, number one. You're now going to be a show promoter, number 2. You're well respected in the industry. There's a lot of competitors that look up to you. There's a lot of fans who like to watch you. So I want you to tell us about you. So how long have you been bodybuilding?
That's a good intro. Well, that's big.
Well, but big athletes deserve big intros, right?
Yeah, man. I've been a pro for 2 years. I won a year as an amateur. I did like 1 or 2 shows before I became pro. I tried it out 5 years ago, and I did NPC, a couple of shows from there. I did pretty good. And did some contract modeling work from there. COVID brought me back into the sport because I felt myself slipping out of shape, and just got back motivated to get back into shape. And that's when I discovered natural bodybuilding, which I fell in love with the process and in the community. It's no community out like the testing shows community. So there's
really not. And
no.
I have athletes that compete all over, all different organizations, and in non-tested events. And the camaraderie we see in natural bodybuilding is really like no other. And I'm proud to be a part of that. And I'm glad as an athlete you recognize that, right? And it's not done by design. It's just what happens. So like I love hearing that, and I love knowing that you see that and feel that. I think that's really what sets our sport apart from other things.
That definitely drives me through the season, man, because you feel that energy, you feel that love, that support. It's a feeling like no other. And that's why I like announcing my shows personally myself, because I feel like when you don't announce your shows, I never announce my show. I always want to bring everybody on that journey with me, but I've seen athletes that doesn't announce their shows, and that's a dark prep when you're just trying to do everything by yourself. I know you don't like the extra pressure, so that's different, but that's just you by yourself on that journey. You may have a small team that you may invite into that, but it's different, man, when you have a whole community behind you and just pushing you and checking up on you and just want to see you succeed. So it's a whole different type of feeling when I go into a show. I feel like it's not just me. I bring the whole community with me every time I step on stage.
Right. I'm not sure what that's about. Hey, I'm not going to tell anybody I'm doing this show. Listen, we have athletes signed up that I can't say a word about.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, don't let anybody know I'm doing this show. Like, okay, I'm fine with it, but I don't really understand that, except I have heard from some athletes that are like, well, if people know I'm coming to the show, they won't come because they know I'm going to beat them.
It's different ways. I see different.
So are you trying to psych out your opponents?
No, I think there's a lot of different. There's a lot of different sides to it for sure. I feel like one of the ones, it could be that. I mean, somebody that might not want to go against that person, but it also could be that you're tracking a top pro yourself. You're tracking them, and you don't want them to come because you're hoping that they may come a little bit off. So you don't want the extra motivation. And some people don't like the pressure that comes with you announcing your show. They do come with pressure because you have expectations. Especially if you're a known pro in the area, they come with expectations to be in that top area. So some people can't handle that extra pressure during their prep, and it's different. Especially if you're at a level where you're coming back for your first show or you just want a show. There's always pressure on top of that. Some people just like to be the dark horse, they call it, where you just
Right.
pop up behind the curtains. But I just think it cheats the people that follow you. It cheats the process. But hey, everybody walk their own journey. So
Do you feel, listen, you're an awesome competitor, right? There's no doubt about it. Do you feel pressure that, on you once you announce that show, or are you just kind of doing your thing and just, going into it with blinders on?
Oh, 100% there's pressure. I felt like a lot of top pros or a lot of top athletes in general put a lot of pressure on themselves. So they don't want the added pressure of expectations for a show. So, and I 100% agree with that and I understand. But with myself, it's pressure anytime I step on stage because I go more about Showtime than my actual name. So I'm known in the sport by my name, not organization. I'm known just by my name, which I'm very happy for, very, very proud of that because I earned that right. But so every time I announce a show, there's pressure because there's expectation. I came in second literally twice in my career, so I never fell below second. So far it can be it. So it's just the expectation of either I'm the favorite of winning or a favorite of being right there to win. No matter what, no matter how I do. So it's just my job to make sure my prep goes well and my process goes well and I live up to the expectation. But also I have a team that's behind me. I have a great posing coach. I have many posing coaches that I use on top of me being great at what I do, but I also have a great coach that does my diet. So I have a great team. It's not just me going through the process. I have a lot of checks and boundaries that I go through before I step on that stage.
Yeah, this really is about kind of building, like that tribe around you, right? They say it takes a village, right?
Yeah.
And in bodybuilding, yeah, you need that. You need that posing coach. You need that nutritionist. You maybe even need a trainer in the gym, right? Really kind of, pushing you through those last sets, those last few hard reps, and just to kind of hold you accountable a little bit better than you hold yourself accountable.
Yes.
Right? Because we all could fall off sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself ever struggling with, getting through your preps?
I think the hardest one was after I won USBF championship and I won it back to back. Because I won it last year and I won it then I won it this year. That was the show I was aiming for to be able to hold one of my titles for back to back. Because that's the only show I did back to 2 years in a row. I did Florida.
Right.
And then I did that one. In Florida, I wasn't able to hold on to my title. I lost that title the first show of the year. I had a lot of factors came in there, but it was just one my day. I had a coach that I just got a new diet coach, so we're gonna have too much to work together. So I wasn't as lean as I could have been that show to the battle rounds. But
is that what kept you out of that top place at that show? You don't think you were lean enough?
Yeah, for sure. On top of that is that show that I did. We had pre-judging probably like 11, 10 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock, you did pre-judging. Pre-judging, it was a breeze. I was on stage for like 5 minutes. You got to wait till finals later on. Man Physique is the main event. So you have to stay tight all day. And it was just not me having enough experience with my new coach as well as being able to hold prep and what to eat. I was already coming in pretty full as it is. So only thing you're going to do is spill over.
Right. Yeah.
I ate a little too much on my halftime because I didn't prep my food right. And just rookie mistakes, just mistakes that you make from experience. You just learn from it and adjust. And I split out a little bit, but the guy that won looked phenomenal. So he looked phenomenal. So nothing to take away from him. He looked great. I just felt like I could have came a better package to hold myself more accountable for that show.
Yeah. I really like that you said that, holding yourself accountable. In a few previous podcasts, most athletes do own up and take responsibility for themselves and for their placings, and we've all seen, the placings, after the fact, people are upset, everyone thinks you should have placed better. And, especially when you come in second place, right? Like, damn, I should have beat him. Like, sometimes it's that close. And as an athlete, you're owning up to, you, right? Like you have the experience and that's awesome. That's another reason that separates you from the rest, right? That's one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck it. It doesn't matter the word I'm looking for. It separates the best from the rest, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? That's what really makes a pro. It's a little bit humbling when you don't come in your best and you're like, okay, well, I need to go back to the drawing board and what do I need to change? So that's, you're class act, man.
I appreciate it, man. Trust me, I didn't feel that way on show day.
No, I bet.
I didn't feel that way on show day, man. When everybody cleared locker room, I was pissed.
Right? Of course.
It was raw emotions. I got my feedback from the judges. And I'm hard with judges, especially when you see a lot, man, because I really want true feedback. Don't BS me. I mean, I get feedback no matter win or loss. So I go to judge every judge. And if I don't agree, I'll tell you why I don't disagree. I mean, that way I'm always working to get better. And if I'm wrong, I own up to that. But I mean, when I go back and look at the tape, you reflect, you look at the team. Some people still think I should have won it, but myself, when I go back and look, I could have been better. Like if I can't measure that guy to the guy that was winning the championship round. I can't. Those two different physiques. Yeah. If I was a little more leaner, I would have took it. If I would have had more discipline and prep my meals like I should have done that day, I would have been better on schedule. But itself, I went to Whole Foods. I bought some stuff.
What kind of stuff did you eat?
Man, I think that show I went to Publix. And I had 2 sushi rolls. If I would have just had 1 sushi roll or a little bit less and just let myself kind of taper off from the prejudging, I would have won it.
Yeah,
but at that stage, I was kind of doing my own thing. I didn't prep enough. I told coach what I did more than action him. I kind of was more like reactive.
Right.
And then I spilled all this for finals. But hey, it happens, man. It happens. But after reflecting and giving yourself time to really go back and look at the tape, which I looked at many times, I knew it was on me that day.
Yeah. So you went to the judges for feedback. Do you actually rely on the judges' feedback? And the reason I say that is sometimes judges say stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I know when I judge, I don't ever say stupid shit, but I commonly hear, like, we'll use women, for example. Oh, your glutes need to be tighter. Oh, your hamstring, glute tie-in wasn't there. Or, oh, you just need a little more time. Or, oh, come back next week. Like, you get a lot of bullshit. So when my athletes ask judges for feedback, listen, I'm going to tell you this, and obviously everybody who's listening, don't ask what I could do better. That should never, ever be the question to a judge. And I'm really putting this on the judges right now. The question to a judge should be, why did you place me where you placed me?
That's my answer. Why do you think he's better than me?
Right. Right.
And straight up.
Yeah, that's what you have to ask. Don't say, oh, what can I work on for next time? Because you're going to get bullshit. I don't care what judge it is, how much experience they have. You're going to get bullshit. Right? Because one judge sees it one way, another judge sees it another way. And then at the end of the day, you're like, well, judge number 2 said, I wasn't full enough. Judge number 3 said it looked like I spilled over. Like, what the fuck is it, right? And then you turn around and you start blaming the judges. Like, well, these judges at the event suck. Well, it's not that the judges sucked; their feedback sucked.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes they feel like they were put on the spot a little bit, right? So I always say, always ask, why did you place me in second or third or 10th, whatever the placing is. Then they have to kind of own up to why they did that.
And it's definitely a different level with me with judges because I compete so often and I compete all over because I travel. So I see some of the judges multiple times. So I may have feedback from them from a previous show and I'll ask them, did I improve on that? Because sometimes it may be, hey, you didn't come in conditioning enough. I gave it to him because his obliques is better than yours or whatever. So at that point, I know what I need to improve on because I already know because of my success rate that I am big enough so far to compete at the pro level.
Right.
When I get one where if I fall below 5th or at a big show, because I never want to chase myself out placements, but if I fall really behind the pack at a show, then something obviously was wrong with that day. And especially when I have the record I have been having so far. So if they say I need more size, then it's time for me to end the season off. And get back in the and just give myself more time to recover a little bit before I step back on stage. But those type of feedback just depend on the feedback. But if they telling me you just have better obliques, that's just something I didn't come conditioning enough or little things like that. That's different. But if it was a new judge or someone that don't really know me that well, then I'm asking them kind of more like, if I feel like the feedback's not that great, then I may ask them, why did you place him higher than me, or what did you like his physique better? If they need some BS about preference, then they don't have anything at all. That never been me.
Yeah, and you just have to keep that in mind. And I wish all the athletes recognize that. Don't let the judges' feedback be the end all be all, because hey, listen, sometimes here the 2021 Mr. America, there was like 18, 20 guys on stage. Like everybody's got to play somewhere at that point.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the top 5, even the top 10, like everybody was so damn close.
Yeah.
I remember standing there watching, saying, I am so glad I'm not judging, because one, it gets to be, it's fucking hard. Like, everybody's saying, pose for pose. You're like, all right, let's spin them again. Like, I have to be missing something here, right? So you try to wean out, okay, well, this guy doesn't look like he belongs in the top 10, so let's put that over there. And then you go around, you do another round, and like, they pull somebody back in, you're like, no, maybe he does belong in the top 10, right? So you have to be on point that whole time. And in a class that big with that much talent,
Yeah.
like,
That was
it's just, I can't believe we're still not there judging. Like, it's that close. And, like, for me, when I looked at the score sheets after the fact, like, bro, I literally, most placings were separated by a point. Like, and it's just absolutely insane. So
that show was
I don't know if we do something a little different with the scoring week. We still place everybody, but I try to hold the judges a little bit more accountable, and we have 5 categories that they have to assign not a rank to, but points, right? So you got 5 points for posing, and 3 points for conditioning, whatever it is, because it gets them to actually justify their placings, right? So, and the reason I started doing that is I've been to shows with athletes where a judge's feedback was, well, I was literally comparing the 2 girls' toenails to see who had a better pedicure. It was that close. And now whether that shit was true or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But come on, you have to justify why you have a person in first and second and in third. You got to be able to justify it.
Yeah.
Which is why we started going with the points, and we use those points as a backup, right? So if there's a tie, and perfect score is 20 points, but you only have 17, well, then that's how that tie is getting broken. You know what I mean? So
I never want to be a judge. I would never want to be a judge. I wanted to be a promoter before I wanted to be a judge, and I'm good with just doing this right here, what I'm doing for a little bit, and I would never want to be a judge. I don't want that type of responsibility, and I don't want to look at the sport through that type of lens.
So now you're switching over. We're gonna bounce around a little bit. Now you're switching over to be a promoter.
Yeah.
You have a show coming up, April 29th, right?
Yeah. I was
right.
over ambitious about that, me and Josh.
Yeah. Oh, you're partners with Josh Stone King, and he came and competed at Mr. America also. So what you experiencing any difficulties so far, or how's it going with getting the show going?
It's stressful, man. It was definitely more stressful in the beginning because just the unknown. I mean, obviously, athletes like to register late. I'm an athlete that like to register late, so I get it.
Right.
And especially when you have a lot of shows lined up, so you got to pay for one, then pay for the next one, and then you make a pro before that. So I get the process from an athlete standpoint, but it's just a lot of unknown going in, as a promoter, not knowing exactly how many people will be there, not how many pro cards you may have available, just a lot of unknown in that standpoint, and make sure job very stressful. But the only thing we can do that me and Josh just stick to is just that we decided we're gonna put on a good show. So we weren't gonna cut things just according to like athlete participation.
Right.
So our first year, we're gonna put on an amazing venue, amazing show. It's just that with the time consumer, that it's a little more time consuming than I expected, but hey, we making it work, and I was able to adjust. It's early in the year, not later in the year. Thank God it's early in the year. That way I can have my season after. But it's been fun, man. I've been traveling a lot, doing free posing clinics, just trying to do as much as I can to get awareness to the athletes, because we only promote mostly on the gram, so we had to get more creative and just get on the road and get out there in front of people. But it's been fun. It's been a fun process, and I'm enjoying it.
Where exactly is the show going to be? Let everybody know.
It's in Palm Beach, Florida, so it's right outside of Jacksonville area, Jacksonville Beach. I'm in St. Augustine myself, so it's North Florida. So we're close to like South Georgia, so we get some South Georgia athletes that come down from Brunswick or that area. Then we also get all the athletes from Orlando. Tampa's about 4 hours away. So you get to make sure athletes from all over. But it's gonna be we got a Hollywood theme to it. It's been a lot of fun, man.
How could Showtime Keith not have a Hollywood theme?
Yeah. Me and Josh, we kind of fancy. So
I hear you're gonna be running like a gala the night before.
Yeah, that's all Josh out there, man. Josh got count with his media day to get people lay their hair down, have fun. Because we noticed that when we travel so much, I like to celebrate after every show. No matter win or lose, majority of time winning, so it feels better. But I like to get out. I have a nice custom suit that I have picked out for after the show. I get out in the new city, just get some air, just go have a couple of drinks, or just get some good food. I just get out. So I know that a lot of people don't really have those opportunities to do that because bodybuilding consumes so much in your life. And then after the show, because of placements, you may not even want to do anything at all. because you put
Right.
that much pressure on yourself to win. So we wanted to give athletes the opportunity to get dressed up when they look in the best shape of their life, let their hair down, and just have a fun twist because it's our athlete meeting. So for
Right.
the formal event, it's a red carpet event. We have 360 camera, professional photography, media probably gonna be there. So we're just having a lot of fun with it.
Awesome. Awesome. So what do you have something picked out to wear already? Because you come styling.
I do. I haven't got my suit yet together yet. I see the doctor next week to see about getting this split off. My weight kind of different right now, so most of all my peak week suits doesn't fit anymore. I don't split like twice, two of them.
So you might have to go get a new custom done.
Yeah, so I just got to see, but it's gonna be nice.
All right. Well, I can't wait to see pictures of that. I know you guys are doing Glorianne is going to be your host, one of your hosts, correct?
We did this whole Queen of the South thing. We wanted to dedicate, because I feel like bikini females pro don't have enough shows to do, pro bikini.
Right.
So that was our goal, is to hold at least one pro category where we can dedicate a tribute to the ladies. So we have Pro Masters and Pro Open bikini class. And then we have 5 panel judges. We have a 7-panel judge, but 5 of the judges are females. We have Courtney from Native Revolution, USBF, flying in. We have Miss America herself, Nicole, flying in to be one of our judges to represent USBF and Native Revolution as well, and NFF. And then we also have a judge from OCB. We have Jenny there. We have 2 NGA judges there. Chance is our head judge. She's a bikini model herself, literally been in bold. So we have a amazing judging panel.
Awesome
we
panel.
really want to dedicate that. And we have Biggie Small, she in the area. Gloria Diesel.
Yep.
She's in the Orlando area, so she wanted to get in the MC game. So we gave her opportunity with us. And then I have Miss Hollywood herself from WBNF in NGA, Samantha. She's coming down from California to also co-MC with her. So we got a lot of big people that's a part of it. And I'm just happy that the team that I have that supported us, because without them, I mean, they're been a big help, answer a lot of my questions. And Chance, our head judge, has been a major key to helping us successful in our show, just giving us because there's so many little things you don't think about.
Oh, it doesn't stop. Every turn, there's something else.
Yeah, man. But we enjoying the process, and we just moving forward, man. But it's been a joy.
I definitely want to have you back on after the show to talk about that experience.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Because I mean, even the night before the show and show day, like there's always some shit. There's always some shit, man.
We came in as a passion project, so we just stayed with that. We came in as a passion project that we wanted to give back to the athletes.
Well, it sounds super high class. So I love that about it. I wish more people were putting that effort into every single show out there.
Yeah.
It sounds like you and Josh are killing it and really trying to make it something special. So that's great. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
So I know there's we've covered a lot of stuff so far, and I know you brought some things up in some Instagram messages that we were talking about men's physique specifically.
Yeah, I did.
So let's jump into that. I'm all ears.
Yeah.
We'll let the people know. Showtime Keith is not the first person to bring this up, but he does have a lot more passion for this topic that we're going to talk about than most people have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. Not sure where it's going to go. So we're gonna duke this out and figure this thing out right here, right on this podcast, and see what happens. So there's some, I guess, negative feedback in regards to men's physique competitors doing bodybuilding poses.
Yeah.
At the Mr. America.
I hate it.
And I guess some people just aren't a fan. So what's the issue with this?
So I understand from y'all's standpoint with judges, you want to see just different angles. You want to see more a variety of the physique of man's physique. I get that. But man's physique, when it first started, they was literally in board shorts. Someone was in flip-flops. So
yeah.
So it's a category that came by to be more of a beachy model feel. It evolved to having more of a criteria for for symmetry. Now the condition level has evolved.
It's far exceeded big time, right?
Since when it started. So it evolved itself, but the basis of the man physique is we pretty boys when it comes down to it. So we like to just swag it out, look pretty, hit our poses. That's why majority leagues just do quarter turns instead of just doing front and back. At least you're still getting that side angle. You're still on top of the front and back pose. But when you start adding in other poses because of the sport of natural body, because originally we all are bodybuilders, which is true. But when you start adding in classic poses on top of the man physique poses, it just complicate things, because then at that point we're trying to be someone we're not, because we are pretty boys. We're not the classic guys. We're not the bodybuilders. So I feel like that standpoint discourages a lot of athletes to come, because the word super show has been thrown around the most. And I felt like 2021 Mr. America was by far the definition of a super show. Like, you literally had every athlete, top athlete from every organization, PNBA, OCB, NGA, ANBF. So you had all the top guys finally got together. Some people got their egos hurt.
Yep, it sure did.
Some people got humble, but I feel like if it was more tradition to what we do with quarter turns, I know some other leagues like Natural Revolution, PNBA, and I think there's one more out there that does bodybuilding poses on top of it, which is cool for those leagues. But I feel like when you go for an unsanctioned show, the majority shows does just quarter turns, which is our standard. So when we come into a big show like this, especially when people put in there, when you come into a super show, you put your name on the line. So especially when you come to put your name on the line, you're not gonna just take it for granted. You gotta get the proper pros and coaching in. You're gonna make the proper adjustments to stand up there. And I feel like when you do that, it just requires more time. So they're not just doing their normal quarter turn, because you got to practice those for the rest of the season. But on top of that, we have to add bodybuilding poses in it, which no one else has to do that. Bodybuilder, they just practice bodybuilding poses. Classic guys just practice classic poses. No one has to learn two different poses to do a show.
Right. So I'm gonna back up to how that came to be. So in 2020, when I first took over the Mr. America, one of the things I wanted to make sure we were able to give away pro cards. And because at the time I was currently promoting with the PNBA, I decided to adopt their posing, but not because I was with them. I've been around a long time. I do like the fact that men's physique competitors could hit some of these poses. Like, listen, the truth is, a lot of the men's physique competitors look better in a rear double bicep than some of the bodybuilders do.
Yeah.
You got these big wide shoulders, big wide lats, little tiny waist. Why not show that off? And that's why I went with it, but I was exposed to it through the PNBA.
Yeah.
Okay. So I decided, I like that. We wrote our own criteria for the judging and for the standards and all that type of stuff. And we've scoured tons of organizations, because one of the topics that comes up is every organization's criteria is different. So I can show you, well, I don't have it right here, but it'll be hard to see. Every organization's criteria, it's not really different. It's what the judges are awarding that makes it seem different. But the written criteria in everybody's rule book or regulations is almost identical.
Yeah.
So with that, we don't want to be the same as everybody else. Right? We want to separate the Mr. America from, an NGA show or an ANBF show or a USBF show. We try to separate ourselves from that. We want the best of the best displaying your best. Now, fast forward to 2021. 2020, we came out of a pandemic. The classes weren't that big. 2021, the class was much larger. So now you get a lot more guys on stage doing things that they're not used to doing.
Yeah.
And nobody going into 21, some people asked about it, but nobody ever voiced any real concern about it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so far so good. And it plays well on TV. So we had a contract with CBS Sports Network for 2020, 2021. They want action, right? I'm trying to do things at such a high level for the sport and for the athletes that some of it doesn't make sense to people look from the outside looking in. Like, why the fuck would they do that?
Yeah.
Why are you having men's physique guys hit these poses? Well, when you have a major television network telling you, hey, we'd like to see this or that or more of this and less of that, we should probably listen to them a little bit because they might be on to something.
Yeah.
So I know, like, I'm not going to throw any organizations out there, but there's no other organization, including the IFBB, that gets televised.
No.
So we're clearly doing something right. So with that, do I go back to the drawing board and say, fuck what we're doing, we're going to change it because one group of athletes or a handful of athletes don't really like those poses? So here we go. We fast forward. We get through 22. Now we're going into 23. Nobody said anything to me really in 22. But last summer, in conversations with Jenna, we were talking about getting rid of some of the men's physique poses we were having you do.
Yeah.
Because we like a front and rear double bicep.
Okay.
And that's really it. And we want to change the criteria to, we are going to call for those poses for cameras, for entertainment. However, those poses wouldn't be judged. I know the way that would look, though.
Yeah.
Right? There's going to be an athlete or a handful of athletes out there that are like, well, if we're doing it on stage, once you're on stage, you're always being judged. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. But how do we make what you do better? How do we make what men's physique guys are doing that much more appealing, right? Because you're not just pretty, like you have swagger, you have style. Everybody comes out with a unique personality that you don't get in some of the other men's classes. But now seeing you hit a front double bicep or a rear double bicep, you're showing the world that like men's physique is bodybuilding. It is part of bodybuilding. It's not just a surfer boy on stage anymore. Right? So that's my thought process on it. And that's why I do like some of those poses.
Right.
So listening to your argument, why would we get rid of those poses? Just because everybody else doesn't do it. If we throw the term super show out there, well, should it be the same as everybody else's show? Or should there be something different about it other than, the prestige and the media coverage and all that type of stuff? Should there be something different about what we do on stage?
I still think it should streamline with the standards of posing for categories. If you want to add a double bicep and a back rear bicep, that's fine. When you start adding in side chest, tricep, abs, or abdominals, like even that abs is literally judged by criteria. So if you want to add an abdominal shot in there, that's cool. When you start adding in side chest and tricep and the rest of it, it just complicates things. Because even then we have more poses than the classic guys, or just the same amount.
They're about the same amount.
Yeah.
Except anything with legs. There's just no legs.
It just makes it look like we just classic guys in boy shorts. And so and then it becomes. I just think if you wanted to create a non-sanctioned show, Sutton got to streamline with the rest of the federations. Just that way, it's an even playing field. That's to even out the playing field. We didn't make the rules on how it started with quarter turns. Since how it started.
Right.
It's just that's the
we weren't there for it.
That's the standard poses, and that's what we do, just quarter turns. So if it started off as doing classic, and that's how we came up, that'd be different. But when we try to recreate the wheels, then it's when you want to be a non-sanctioned show, it's different. If you was just Mr. America and that's your sanction, that's different. But you want to be a non-sanctioned show, so you're not having any type of and that's just your preference. So I wouldn't say it's favoritism to another league, because that's just your preference of what you like.
Right.
So once she wants to have, if you want to be known as a non-sanctioned show where everybody could come and get together for one big show, and for the Mr. America title, I feel like there have to be some type of level off with standards.
When I decided to do this as a non-sanctioned event, my idea was to contact every organization and invite the heads of every single organization to take part in the show.
Yes.
In 2020, I want to say it was December or January, our intent, it was going to be invite only. That's it. You can't just sign up for the show. If you're not invited, you don't come unless you buy a ticket.
Yeah.
And we took, well, I'm not going to get into the logistics of it, but we went through all the organizations and we picked out who should be invited on pre-written criteria that we have already come up with. The problem with that was the pandemic. People backed out of shows immediately. As soon as the gyms closed down, it was a couple weeks, 3 weeks. Everybody's like, fuck it, I'm not competing this season. And then there was even some people that were like, I'd love to come, but we don't know what's going to happen. I need at least 20 weeks to get ready. And then, we're at that 20-week mark and things still aren't really opened up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very hard to pull off that invite only. Now, because it was the Mr. America, that show was going to run no matter what. I don't care if I put one person on stage, but that show was going to run no matter what. I think at the time, not only did the country need to see something with a little bit of resolve, and strength moving forward, I think it really says a lot about the brand and about our country as a whole. Like, we are resilient. We will push through those hard times and make it out to the other side. And that's why I was hell-bent on running the show. So then we opened it up to registrations.
Uh-huh.
But keep in mind, it was going to be invite only. So here we go on to 21. I already had so much interest in people wanting to come that wanted to come in 2020. They're now going to commit to 21 because things are, opening back up. So I let it ride. You got to register for the show. However, there's a cap on each class. And as you know, I exceeded my cap on some of the pro classes. And the way that happened is I get emails. I'm like, okay, registration. We file it into, our registration box.
Yeah.
And then I'm not like, going through and doing my lineup every single day as people register. So when I got to it, I'm like, I can't just, we were at our cap. I'm like, I can't just close the class today. I need to make an announcement like, hey, this class is going to close. And then we ended up going over our cap. As far as the posing goes, let's go back to that, because I know we're not done with that. I'm willing to tell you today, right now, because of not only your concerns, other athletes' concerns, and what we were discussing behind the scenes in August, 2023, this year's event for men's physique will be quarter turns only.
Wow, that's big.
So everybody out there, you guys can all thank Showtime Keith for doing the right thing and bringing it forward literally to my face, to my attention, that like, hey, we're not crazy about this. We'd like to see it changed. So I'm open to all that. So now 2023, men's physique, quarter turns only, both in amateurs and pros.
Wow, that's big.
Keep in mind, I would like to see for myself some other poses during your final routine.
Yeah.
Get out there and ham it up a little bit.
Even afterward, I think normally
like after the show, like in the hallway afterwards.
I've been in shows, but normally at the end they'll be like, all right, let me see a double bicep.
Just right, for some pictures. Right.
At the end when they finish pretty much scoring, they already kind of know where you are. Like the score pretty much done.
Right.
Let me see this, or they do it before they do the pose down. They normally always say, let me see a different type of pose just to see it. So that's
well, I hope the men's physique community, they thank you, Mr. Showtime, for doing that, because nobody else has come to me and said, I'd really like to see this changed, and here's why.
That's big. I feel like it's big. And then,
so I'm conceding to that for you and for the other men's physique athletes out there.
I'm jealous. I mean, I'm recovering right now, so I don't know about you be ready by October. My show's date is I but I'm jealous. I can't even be a part of that.
Well, I mean, listen, if you want to be the best, bro, you got to recover and keep doing this, and you don't need your legs anyway.
I need to be able to spin.
we could put you on one roller skate.
Yeah, no, right. And it's on my left. It's my left foot, so I pose to my left side. So lately, I've been posing people with my right side. So there's no reason for people to get me at 70 or 60%. So I should be 100% later on in the season. But
I think you're going to be fine. We just spoke to another athlete who he's been an athlete for a long time. He's actually going to be on after you. He was out with some major shoulder surgery, back in the gym in like 8 weeks.
Oh,
major
shoulder?
No, he's a professional baseball player.
Gotcha.
Semi-pro football, but he's also a bodybuilder now. So, like, just do what you could do, man.
Yeah. I'll be there 2024 though. You count me in for the special invite. Hold me a slot.
Well, yeah, well, you got to get that application in. So we'll have a process for that we put out, and it's free for all the pros.
Yeah, and hold them a 5 for me if you
can. Open pros and Masters pros, it will be dead free. Yeah. However, you will be under contract to come compete.
Yeah. I you count me in for 2024.
All right,
got to be a part of that change.
All right, now. Any other concerns you'd like to bring up as an athlete while you have my full attention and I'm over here just giving shit away?
Now, I feel like that was the biggest thing, man. Like, obviously, right now, the first year, 2021, I think we already did drug tested winners. Last year, you drug tested everyone that won the show, which was big. So that was a big. Obviously, you heard and progressed off of that. So I think the biggest thing, just because to represent my community for men's physique, that was the biggest thing I feel like that stopped a lot of people coming. Because when I talk to guys about coming down and doing the show, they mentioned about them poses. And then I knew coming into it for myself that it'd be a challenge, but I took the time to get a classic coach to do that. But I'm a guy who likes to complete. I like to compete. So not everybody gonna do that. And I'm still not 100% like to do that going into a show. So I still have to make sure I take the time to adapt and adjust to those poses before I commit to something like that. But once you go down to quarter turns, that's no preparation. You already doing that. So
you personally pulled that off very well, obviously. Right? You got second place, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did get second place, and I was happy with that, man, because that was my second pro show. I was just coming there because Dangerous J, I was a huge fan of St. Reed. I still am a huge fan of Dangerous J. He represents guys like us. Now, we're not the tallest guy, we're not the biggest guy on those days, but we hold our own. So, and I was a huge fan of him, man. So I just wanted to come there. Obviously, they like the physique. Maybe they like my physique. I didn't expect it because I announced pretty early I was coming. I announced it in June.
And you beat him. And you beat him.
Yeah. I got him that day. So, but I was just happy to be in the top 5. I did a lot of rookie mistakes that peak week because I had so much time between shows. So, but I definitely look back. I told you last year I want to come back. So I feel like one of those times with Mr. America for you to put your hat out there to say you like one of the best, that's one of the titles you got to have. I feel like there's when you look at championship shows, there's probably 7 of them. When you add them all up, you're looking at the OCB Europe, you're looking at the IP Worlds, you're looking at NGA Universe, you look at the USBF United States Championship, GBO Atlas, fighters when it's Miss America. I feel like that's one. PNBA National Olympia.
The Natural Olympia, right.
Why is the Big 7? The goal, if you could collect all 7 of those championships in your career, that's amazing. Me personally, I've won NGA Universe, I won GBO Atlas last night, and I won USBF Champion 2 times in a row. So I have 3 of the 7, so which is hard enough to do across the federations. So I feel like once you want to be that person, if you want to be that athlete to call yourself, I'm on the top, you have to go out there and prove it.
The good thing is,
you have to have.
The good thing is through my talks with all the different organizations, there's not an organization who is running a major event on the same weekend as us.
Yeah.
And, a lot of athletes don't know. There is some cooperation behind the scenes amongst organizations. You may not see it. You may not ever hear about it. There was some things, I played a very big role behind the scenes in some major things that happened this past year. And I don't go out there and talk about it. I just don't. But it benefited a lot of people. It changed some things for a lot of people. And I had something to do with it. So I'm out here trying to put in the work necessary to make the whole sport better. And, was it 2020, Jason Brew, he won the Mr. America. Then I guess it was a week or 2 later, he won the IPE Worlds. And then he went to the Natural Olympia like a week after that. I think he got second or third at the Natural Olympia. And it was like, I want to see all the athletes doing that at the end of the year. Go hit those big shows. Like, you're in shape, man. Eat up for a day or 2 and just, dial it back in and go travel, go hit those shows.
I think that's perfect time, man. October 5th, that's literally when championship season starts. Your OCB York is like September.
So they're in September. So that's really the kickoff is that York Cup is, they're setting the stage for what's to come down the road at some of these other places, right? So if you step on stage at the York and you win at the York, and like you're going to be one to look at, immediately stepping on stage at your next show.
Yeah.
You're going to say, oh, this guy or this girl just won the urine.
Yeah.
So you're guaranteed that second look on stage.
Uh-huh.
I suggest, I wish all the athletes would go hit that circuit at the end of the year, because you'd have awesome kick-ass shows for major titles.
That's the
major prize money.
Championship round.
Right?
For the round.
Right.
It's just,
make the round, the championship rounds. That's where it's at.
That's the big boy rounds. That's where the big payouts are. That's where the big boys come out and play.
Yeah.
Big boy round.
Well, this has been great. I think we covered a lot.
Before we go, I do want to say, man, I know that what you tried to accomplish 2021, was it your first time promoting it, or was 2020?
2020 was
2021. So the amount of changes you was trying to do, man, that year, then go unnoticed. You brought a lot of athletes out. And obviously what happened, players got hurt, so they didn't come back the next year, in every category. But and things have changed regarding when people place their shows. But it's always a show that everyone's always talk about, man. The changes you did last year was big. I noticed the athletes got together last year, all got together in California to work out. That was amazing, man. The commodity of that and the pride.
We just did that this year also. We just brought all the winners from 22. We flew them into Crofton, Maryland.
That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
All that.
So there's going to be, the year before we were in Venice when we were doing the reality show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But we just brought all those winners to Crofton, Maryland, out to Gold's Gym. And we're actually, I don't know if this fucks up the podcast, later today, we're going to be putting on, putting out one of the videos that we've done so far. At the Mr. America, it's not just me, right? So when I talk about the Mr. America, I almost talk about it as it's like another entity other than myself.
Yeah.
And to me, it really is another entity other than myself. So sometimes I want to clarify, like, Marc Tauriello personally may not like something, but for the benefit of the Mr. America, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because to me, that the brand is more important. But there's not a brand out there, not the Olympia, not the Arnold, that has done the things that we've done and that we're doing. You win the Arnold, nobody picks you up and flies you somewhere to get background story for you.
Yeah.
It's just not happening. And, everybody looks at, the IFBB or the NPC like, oh, that's the creme de la creme. Well, I'll tell you what.
You're just the first.
The Jordan pays more money than every IFBB show. The WNBF pays more money. The ANBF pays more money.
Yeah.
The Mr. America pays more money. Like, there's more money here other than the Olympia and the Arnold.
It definitely is. I asked someone, I was talking to one of my sponsors the other day, they was talking about, obviously I've been doing my thing in natural bodybuilding. As of right now, the sport, it changes. I've been looking for it. Right now, I was looking last year. So they wanted me to go more into IFBB. And I was like, why would I do that? First of all, I'm natural. I'm always going to be natural. So I'm not a 10-time Olympian. I like where I'm at right now. So I never even entertain that subject. But out of all that, of me liking where I am in the community, I get paid more than those guys. I won 5 shows last year. I'm pretty sure I made more money than everyone, besides people that won Olympia, that competed last year. So it's no right for me to cross over. Like my coach now, because he's big, and my coach is Mike Davis. He used to be the amateur promoter for the Arnold, and we have a lot of IBBs on our team
for a long time.
Now because of the season that he saw successful that we had together last year, he's like, shoot, I want to bring some more guys over to the natural guy because they have a lot of natural people on our team.
I actually had a conversation with him a few weeks ago.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't even realize that he was your coach, but he brought it up. he had nothing but good things to say.
Oh yeah. He's not a guy that he's not the type of guy that will fluff either. So he's straight to the point. So when I saw him, that's when I pulled my cue. I went into Ohio. I go to training camp a couple of times throughout the year. We all get together, train hard, have our conversations, and really get down to the dirty about the season. And it's pretty blunt with everything. And obviously, I was very happy to see how proud he was after we done yesterday because we was consistent. I stick to that. It was very consistent. But now he's bringing more people over because he's able to see this world more because I travel so much, able to see all the different shows. But it's just becoming, in natural bodybuilding at the highest level right now has a bigger spotlight than it normally has because of everything that's going on in so many depths. So now is the time for us. It's definitely the time.
Yeah, this really is the place to be. Like drugs aside, which actually is going to bring me back to my next thing. But drugs aside, the natural bodybuilding circuit is really better. There is actually more money here. You know, you may not get that, you know, IFBB Pro in your screen name, right? Which it seems that, you know, that's what people want. But there is more money here, and there is opportunity. You know, I'm just going to use me for example. Look at the things that I've been trying to do for the athletes to try to create opportunities. And that's what the Mr. America is about. Is we want to create opportunities for the athletes, for our sponsors, for the other organizations, which is why we want it to be so inclusive as opposed to exclusive. You know, our doors are open. Bring everybody in, because at the end of the day, our whole sport will get better through this. I'm confident. I'm 100% confident in that.
I agree. And I don't want to take up too much of your time because I got another appointment I got to get to. I know you got your plans too, man.
Yep.
But it's been great. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, one other thing. Just give me a sec. You brought up something about drug testing earlier.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the way we tested winners and stuff like that, was that an issue somewhere along the line?
Well, because the first year we went off of the testing, our PMBA test. You test randomly. So
yeah.
So not every athlete is tested. Not everyone that collects money is tested. Right. You tested pretty much all the top. Everyone that collected money got tested.
Well, yeah, amateurs too. I think every single winner was tested.
Yeah.
And then there was randoms besides that.
Yeah. So that's big. But just a big adjustment from the first year. I'm saying from 2021 to 2020.
So just from a business standpoint, right? You're gonna be promoting. So I guess as an athlete, as a promoter, if I don't test my winners, that should be on me, right? Like, I don't want to pay somebody, you know, $5,000 or whatever it is, and they could have been dirty, right? So that really falls on me. But the same side, random testing goes a lot further than that targeted, because it could be anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Right. So I do like that. And, you know, for like another organization or somebody to be like, oh my God, they didn't even test the winners. Well, that's a my bad.
Yeah.
You know, that shouldn't be like an end all.
And then if you punch up and you lose anyway, I mean, that's just on you.
Right.
Whatever you take, I can get you first place. Like,
right.
You didn't get tested because you lost even on stuff. So it doesn't even.
Yeah. But I do like, you know, I do like random and targeted.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be sticking with. There's going to be random and there's going to be targeted.
I think that's big. And it's, I mean, when it comes down to, you can't please everyone. Everyone's
like, I take testing so seriously. I have a testing kit sitting on my desk. That's how serious I take my drug testing. So, but listen, Keith, it's been great having you here. Best of luck with your show. Guys, if you're getting ready for a show right now, definitely check out Keith's show, April 29th in Florida. It's NGA. It is a pro qualifier. If you're not going to go there to compete, get there for the party.
It's gonna be a good production. So I was
awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Thanks for listening to the athletes, man. That's a big change.
No problem, and thank you for bringing it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, thanks again for everybody listening to Jimmy Repeat, the podcast. We hope to see everybody October 6th through 8th in Atlantic City at the Mr. America.
One time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on, yeah.